Can you first just say your names on the recorder so
That's
that
Alex.
for sound?
This is Alex.
This is Bob.
And I was curious as far as, because you guys work on so much stuff, how does this fit in as far as the things you're doing, and how many things can you take on at once before you just go crazy?
Explode. Well, a couple things. We were trained in television. In the TV world, you're breaking stories while writing stories, while directing episodes, while cutting episodes. And so you have to section your brain off into hours during the day. And it's a discipline that you just learn over time, and it's something that we sort of thrive on because what it allows you to do is step away from a problem for an hour, put your brain in something else, and then come back to it an hour later with a fresh one. And I think there's an energy that comes from that, and for us, and there's two of us, and it's always about partnering with people who can really kind of keep things moving along, i.e. Peter. And so for us, I think we enjoy the challenge, and we always make sure that we don't take on so many things that we actually can't contribute to it. That's
Alex, my question is this what can fans expect? Is this a reboot or is this an all-new take on the show?
I think that fans will see very clearly that we have stayed true to the spirit of the original show, which for us was about family. And it's about how this team functions as a family while solving crimes every week. The island was obviously the fifth character on Hawaii Five-0. And that is also something that you'll see in a major way now. And times have changed, and we're now living in a post-9/11 world, so Hawaii, which in some ways we're saying is kind of the gateway to the rest of the world because it is truly the tip of the country, has become an access point for all the problems that we now face. So there is a new spin, but I think Hawaii back then in the original show also kind of posited the same idea, which was, it's paradise over here, but underneath there's something else lurking, and that's, I think, true to the spirit of the original.
Thank you very
Did you
much.
speak to any of the original stars on the show?
Yes.
Which ones?
I'm sorry, did we speak?
Did you speak to any of the original cast?
Oh, no, we did not. We did speak to the original cast on the show. But I will say that what was really interesting is that our actors are stepping into such iconic roles. And so you have to pay homage, pay tribute to the original actors, some of which are obviously live anymore, but also bring in some new spin.
They have to make it their own.
They can't be just doing a impression of the actors, and yet you have to recognize something about the character. So I think what it becomes about is, what were those characters really about? Well, McGarrett was clearly the guy who always got his man at any cost, and I think you'll see that we've done our best to stay true to that.
Because today we have more anti-heroes rather than the guys that always get their man.
Can you talk about some sort of uniquely Hawaii Five-0 takes that the show is going to have on sort of the traditional procedural elements, either in specific episodes or overall themes?
We don't want to give away too many episode details.
But Hawaii's an international destination. It really is right there in the center of everything. So it's not just kind of an American murder of the week, body next door. Miami Vice was kind of a model for us in terms of the fact that it was the crimes were a little bit more organized, they were a little bit more high stakes. It had a little bit more of an international flavor. Sometimes, because it's a gateway, you'll see scenes that don't all take place in Hawaii, but take place in places that you can get to from Hawaii. So we're trying to give it kind of an international flavor and something that's a little bit different than a murder of the week. It's a little bit more the problems that we worry about, that you read about, sort of an international.
Also, the island plays, as we said, such a character on the show. I mean, for example, a lot of shows would do a fugitive story, but if you're doing a fugitive story in Hawaii, you have the city and you have the jungle, and that's not something that you get really on any other show.
And the water.
And the water.
Got about 2 minutes.
So as far as characters go, that in addition to Daniel and Grace, what's your casting process like? I mean, are you bringing in a lot of local talent, or are you bringing in people from LA, New York?
All of the above.
All of the above.
I mean, we certainly aim to bring in people from Hawaii. There's definitely going to be cast from the States for every episode.
But we really want to. We're in Hawaii, and the show takes place in Hawaii, so we want it to feel like Hawaii as much as we can, not to pretend it's some other place. So we'll probably get to know every single actor on that island, or on those islands. So we're lucky enough to keep going.
And how hard it will be to balance the standalone episodes and the story that go through all those seasons?
I'm sorry, how hard will it be?
To balance the
standalone?
standalone episodes and the story that goes
We want
through
the
the season.
characters to have an emotional memory. So when they go through something emotionally, that's got to be part of who they are going forward. Some shows don't do that. It seems like it's a clean slate every time. However, we want every show to mostly have a beginning, a middle, and end. But we will have a couple of threads that run through that. If you are a regular viewer and you're watching it the whole time, you'll get some payouts. But the balance is something actually we've been looking for years now. I think that's where TV is right now, and I think that's why the idea of doing Hawaii Five-0, us with Peter, interested us, because we're trying to find exactly what is the middle ground between, your classic procedural where you can tune in every week and not be confused, but we also like a little confusion, so we're going to try and find the right balance, hopefully.
Whose idea was it to get the show blessed?
Oh, that's part of what you have to do in Hawaii, and of course we want that because it is truly like filming on sacred ground. And
It was a big Kahuna's idea.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.